Okay, so just got home from a job interview, and I thought I'd give you a little update on things. I've been thinking about doing this for a bit, and figure now's as good a time as any. So first of all, I think the interview went well until I kind of maybe shot myself in the foot right at the end, but we'll find out. I'm not sure. They sent me home with wine, so that's a good sign. Um, I don't think I'll have any problem finding. I hope I'm not. I hope I won't. Depends on how shot my reputation is at this point. So where are we with stuff? I turned 40 2 weeks from today, and what little plan I had for my birthday is kind of out the window because now I don't have a job. So that's fun. I have surgery for the cancer scheduled on December 18th, and I injured my foot hiking a few weeks ago, and as you guys know, I've been trying to get that taken care of, and still hurts really bad today. So I wasn't going to get the x-ray because of money, but I think ultimately I probably should. So I'm going to get the x-ray tomorrow. I don't think anything's broken, but best to be sure, right? So that's all fun. So with work, I don't want to get into too much detail, but ultimately Sam's rolling around on the couch. Basically there was just too much of my personal life had been involved by outside parties, and it just wasn't tenable. And you know, basically the entire staff had seen me naked, and not by my own, accord. So that was all. It was just too much. There was just too much, and a lot of other things, and it was an ongoing issue, and they were very supportive of me actually, and they kept saying ignore it, but it gets to a certain point where it's like I think I knew in the back of my head that eventually I was going to be more trouble than I was worth, in that sense. And I've, as you know, been trying to put a stop to this stuff, and it's just not. It's certainly slowed down, but it hasn't stopped. And um, it just it was just a lot. It was just a lot, and it kind of came to a perfect storm. There's been some tensions because of other factors, and Um, as you guys know, at least some of you, I tried to quit my antidepressants because I've put on so much weight and it's driving me crazy. And so I finally was like, forget it. My prescription ran out, and I said, I'm just not going to fill it. I'm just going to get off of it. And you just can't quit those things cold turkey. Like you can't. And I knew that. And but I was on, I think, day 3 or 4 of just cold turkey quit. So my brain's like error signs, and it just everything kind of came to a head, and I was just like, enough. I can't. I need something. I need to get away from all this stuff. So stupid of me, but no hard feelings. They're great people, and I wish them all the best. And hoping. Well, here's my conundrum, right? Because um, I have an online presence. And part of the reason, in fact, the main reason that I don't lock everything down is because um, I feel as a community leader in at least the Star Trek fandom, um, that I need to be available for people. And if I lock everything down, if I make myself impossible to find, the people who need me are not going to be able to find me. A prime example, I have a friend who I don't know super well, and she's going through a mental health crisis, and a couple of other crises at the same time. And had I locked everything down, she would not have been able to find me last night when she was ready to unalive herself. And so now there's the question, now that I'm going to be starting over in a new job, you know, what is my online presence going to be? Because I need to protect myself to a certain degree, but part of protecting myself also means not letting them change who I am and what I do and what my roles are. And so it's like, well, do I limit how much I share? about my own life, pictures of where I am or hiking or, doing things or, do I lock everything down and shut everybody out so, the crazies can't find me? I'm not sure how useful that would be anyway, because uh, from what, so, and this is really distressing. From what I've been able to determine with the help of the team is that there seem to be three different main actors involved in this stalking and harassment. And, one of them is the one that was able to, on multiple occasions, hack into my Twitter, my Facebook, which includes my Messenger at that point, and I think my email and my Facebook. And that means also my Instagram, because those are like, so everything, and that's on me because this person was able to figure out my password on more than one occasion. Now I've gotten to the point where I had a friend help me determine if it was like something, I think they called it keylog strokes, something like that they were using, which it turns out they weren't. I am the most technologically inept person in the world. Like, of my generation, the fact that I do not, like, if you want to see a full autism meltdown, take me into a phone store. I can't, my brain just won't jive that way. So without the help of these people, I would be sunk. But it turned out it wasn't keylog strokes. It was somebody who knew me well enough that they were able to determine my password on more than one occasion, which is how I was able to get access back to everything fairly quickly. But in fact, I wasn't locked out. It was just like, hey, you may want to change your password because there's been unusual login activity. It's like, great. That's so anyway, I've gotten to the point I've changed my passwords on absolutely everything. There is no way they're going to figure this one out. So I think I'm okay there. Now the other two main people involved, there's a question of, are they working in tandem or are they independent agents? Because everybody, if I'm right about who these three people are, they all have, well, at least one of them has a separate agenda, and then two of them, they could or they couldn't. It's a matter of trying to determine that. And then the question becomes, well, do I take them all to court? That's, I mean, that's, you want to talk about an expense. Um, I just don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I don't think I have enough physical evidence that I would have a winning court case. Now, would that change in maybe a month, 2 months, 6 months? It could. I'm still in the process of finding out more. I don't want to say what program I use, but I'm gonna say it because maybe it'll help some of you out there. There is a program you can put on most of your accounts called Stat Counter that gives you a wealth of information about who's visiting your site, how often, how long they're staying on, what the entry page is, what the exit page is, if they searched for things. Like, it is incredibly helpful. So I've had that installed for quite a while. I had a friend of mine who does that stuff. He put it on everything for me, and now I can just log into that and just pull up this account, and it'll show me who's been doing all this stuff. Which is just, like I said, that's incredibly helpful. Now, would that stand up in a court of law? I don't know. I don't think the laws have caught up with technology. I mean, that's just from a layman perspective. I don't think it has. But at this point, they've cost me my job. But then the question becomes, out of that, which of the three actors, and I mean actors, not like actors like on TV, I mean actors in this campaign, were the ones to send which emails, or were the emails all one person and then the other stuff was somebody else? Like, so it becomes a question of who did what here. And so, disseminating my nudes without my consent and stealing, like maybe one person stole them and then somebody else sent them and then somebody else did. So who's breaking the law and who's just being an asshole, you know? Um, so I don't think at this point I'm ready for a court case. But to the three people, because I guarantee you at least two of you are going to watch this. I know, I know, I can't prove it yet, not definitively, but I know, and I'm watching you back. So just be careful. I would quit while you're ahead, because if you stop this now, there is still time that we don't have to take the legal route. Just stop. Um, So that's fun. Um, what else? My pain's been really bad, of course, no doubt exacerbated by stress. Um, I'm super worried about money because I have none coming in well, aside from my little side hustle, but that really doesn't make much at all, if anything. I wish it did actually. It's good work. I was listening to this treatise basically about sex work in the United States primarily, and the need to decriminalize it, and that has difference between legalizing and how those different things impact different people, and how so many people are like, it's exploitive no matter what. There's no way for sex work to not be exploitive, and I'm like, all work's exploitive. Anything you do. When I was a zookeeper, I was using my body to produce labor. It's no different. I don't see the distinction. If I choose to do that instead of this or this, if I want to go work in a coal mine or a restaurant or whatever, you're still exploiting my body to produce labor for somebody else, right? At least what I'm doing, I'm in 100% control, you know, and I do it on my own time. I set my own prices. I do all, so there's a certain aspect where I think it's actually less exploitive than so many other things people do. Um, that's a whole different show. I don't know. I'm really frustrating because that interview was going so well, and then I'm not one generally for self-sabotaging, but I feel like I did in this case. And I'm sure it's because I've been so frustrated with how many people in town know about my reputation. I've been solicited by people in this town, in this industry, for sex. I'm not a prostitute. I make photos. I'm not a prostitute. There's a difference. And I'm not knocking prostitution. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit what people do. But when somebody's going around calling me a whore, and I've got men propositioning me for sex within the industry, now it's my problem. You've made it my problem. And it shouldn't matter, but it does. Like, just because I don't care what people do, a lot of other people do care what other people do. And I think our politics reflect that. And then meanwhile, we've got the fucking election coming up where we can choose between, what did somebody say yesterday on Twitter? And I was like, that's pretty much sums it up. It was like, one's a shit sandwich and one's a shit sandwich with no bread. I'm like, yeah, there you go. It's harm reduction at this point. You know, I don't want to vote for Biden. I'm gonna, because I know what reality is. I know what's gonna happen if I don't. And for people to objectively act like one is not worse than the other blows my mind, especially when these are people who purport to support, minority groups and, people of color, LGBT, mentally disabled, all the, you want to speak for all these people. Well, you got to fucking support them then, because so I said somebody this morning going, oh, the answer is revolution. How? You don't have a fucking plan. What are you, crazy? You gotta have a plan. For the amount of people I see who are going, burn it to the ground, but they have no plan, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. It's just that shit blows my mind. So anyway, the surgery coming up, that's worry. I mean, I'm trying not to worry about that, obviously. Um, I have no idea what the cost's gonna end up being. I probably won't have health insurance in the new year because now I don't have a job. And that's incredibly bad timing. It's just really, well, it's just hard right now, guys. And wish me luck, okay? All right, bye.